Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kemi, and I'm here to talk about Real Housewives of Rhode Island, Season 1, Episode 2. Now, before we begin, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and turning on your post notifications so you'll know whenever I post. All right, so we start off the episode with Liz. So we see her, she's at her in laws' place, and they are her daughter Brianna is on her way over with her boyfriend, and they're gonna meet. The whole family is gonna meet his. Sorry, the whole family is going to meet his family because Brianna, which is Jerry's daughter, is pregnant. So his family comes over. They're all over, and they're getting to know each other, and they're just mingling with each other. So again, we hear Liz talk about how when she initially met Jerry, he had his three girls, and she wasn't ready to be a mom. She's so used to doing things on her own and getting up for herself, going to sleep for herself, like just doing everything on her own. But then once she met him and decided that she was going to go all in with him, she had to start thinking about being a mom to these girls because they didn't have one. So we see Ashley and Joe Ellen, and they are we see them, and they are meeting up for they're meeting up together. So like when they were at the 4th of July party, Ashley, I don't know if it was Ashley or Joe Ellen, one of them said, oh, we should do a play date because they have kids that are around the same age with each other. So this was a way for Ashley to get to know, make some friends in the group or whatever. So they're at the park with their kids, and they, they're getting to know each other. They're playing with their kids. Ashley is talking about in her confessionals that she heard that there are rumors that Joe Ellen was a bitch, but she's been really nice to her. So she doesn't see where that is or whatever. They talk about Rosie and Kelsey and their whole issue or whatever. Then they start talking about the coffee shop and then the stress of it all. And then Ashley starts to cry because she just wants to make him happy. But right now it doesn't seem like that's happening. And then Joellen gives her encouragement. So we see Kelsey and Liz, and they are meeting up with Rulla. So we finally get to meet Rulla, and she is Liz knows her through the boating community. So they are they're friends with each other. Again, I think that Alicia and Liz are the nucleus of the group. So Liz is the one who brought Rulla into the group, and Rulla is half Syrian, which I think Liz says she was half Syrian too. Rulla is half Syrian and half Persian. Yeah, Persian. So they have that in common or whatever. So they're meeting up. She asked them when she gets to the table, she asked them what they did for the 4th, and then they tell her that they were with Joe Ellen because she had a birthday party. Not a birthday party, a 4th of July party, which of course Rulla wasn't invited to. So Rulla proceeds to say she wants to know why they feel comfortable hanging with Joe Ellen after comfortable hanging with Joellen since she's a starter. She's talking about Rulla and her husband, and she's stirring up these rumors. So Liz tells Rulla, I got your back. I always have your back. If there's ever what does she say? She says something, but if there's ever something, I got your back. So then Liz says, yeah, she tells her she has her back, and then she also tells her, she says, but I know you, and you will never admit to anything that's wrong. Or I think she says that in the confessional. But anyway, she says something to that effect. So she says, yeah, she tells her she would never admit to that anything was wrong. So in her confessional, she then proceeds to say that Rulla and Brian, which is Rulla's husband, they portray this happy couple, but there are rumors that he has a mistress. So they ask her if she's open to talking about it. So they show the photo. So basically what happened, um Brian apparently there were photos taken of him and this lady, and they were it was like, she was sitting in his lap, he was kissing her cheek, they were real smiley and real flirty. They don't show the woman's face, but it was, he was in the picture. It was something that you don't do when you're a married person. So they show the photos of it. So Rulla goes to explain that Liz told Rulla about the pictures, and then she asked, "How did you find out about it?" And Liz told her Joe Ellen. So she called Joe Ellen because Joe Ellen had the photos. She thought that Joellen was being supportive, but she found out that she was sharing the picture with the whole group and other people going around town talking about it. So Kelsey wants to talk about the pictures. So she says, the pictures were posted in the winter, but the outfits that they had on were summer wear. So so what's her name? Kelsey. Sorry. I'm still learning these ladies' names. They all kind of still look alike to me. So, not even kind of, they do look alike to me. So, forgive me. So, Kelsey wants to talk about the pictures because the pictures were posted in the winter, but their outfits were summer wear. So, she's asking her, "Do you think it's still going on?" And Rulla tells her, "No, nothing's going on. It was last summer. We're all good." So, based on what they're saying, because this was filmed in 2025, the summer of 2025, the fair happened in the summer of 2024. So Liz tells her, "Well, he's still seeing her." And Liz is just like calling her on her, like, just basically like, "Girl, you think it's over, but it's not over. Like, what, no, it's not, going, no, it's not over. It's still going on." Um, uh, yeah, so Liz, yeah, she tells her, it's still going on. And she's telling her, she's calling her on her ish and telling her, like, stop being prideful. Rulla tells her, "No, you went through it with Jerry. You took time and processed it, and you didn't kick him to the curb." So Liz says, Liz tells her, "I'm staying for the kids." Um, Rulla tells her, "Yeah, it's different. Jerry has kids and you don't." Liz doesn't have any of her own. And Liz feels some type of way. Now, initially, when she said it, I didn't, for me, I just took it as either way it goes, it's messed up, because it's just like, that's not something that you should say to a friend, because it's just like, you don't, well, for us, we don't know what the circumstances were for her to not have children, but you as a friend, you probably know what those circumstances were. So for you to throw that in her face, that, "Oh, you didn't have kids, so X, Y, and Z." On the flip side, I get what she was saying. Like, I have 2 kids with him, and I'm staying, like, it would be hard for you to leave. It would have been easier because you don't have kids that you share with this man. Again, it's not right. It wasn't cool. Rulla was wrong for that. So again, Liz is pissed at this point. She's just like, "Oh, so that's what we on? All right, bet. That's what we gonna be on." But Rulla's just like, "That's not what I meant. I'm sorry." She, keeps apologizing to her. And she's like, "Me and my husband aren't in a good place," and she wishes everyone would accept that. Kelsey gets it because she was in that same position when she was at the party, everybody asking about her relationship. So she gets it. So they agree to just leave her and her situation the way it is. So we see Kelsey. She has Alicia come over to her house, and we see her, her her housekeeper, her living housekeeper, helping her put things together for Alicia or whatever. So Alicia comes over. She apologizes for the picnic convo. Kelsey isn't mad. Kelsey isn't mad at Joe Ellen, um, which okay. So she's not mad at she's not mad at Joe Ellen. She understands maybe I guess she slipped up, which caused Rosie to bring it up. But she wished it hadn't happened. But she's not mad at Joe Ellen that it happened. She's more mad at Rosie for asking. Okay, girl. So Kelsey brings up Rulla being pissed at Joe Ellen for the mistress talk or whatever. And Kelsey says Joe Ellen is fanning the flames and pouring gasoline on it. Which, if you know that about her, then why aren't you mad at her for, you know what, whatever. Because it's just like, girl, what? So you know that she's messy, basically. You know she messy, and you're all fine and dandy with her being messy, but you mad at other people for also being messy. Okay, girl. So Alicia asked Kelsey, so what's the deal? She asked her, like, so what's the deal with Rula and her husband? And she's just like, well, according to Rula, she said nothing's going on, everything is all good. Alicia's just like, well, I haven't talked to her, but she's hearing all these stories and she wants to know. So Kelsey was just like, well, you know what, we all need to get together so we can talk and be honest about things and address things head on, because of course that is what y'all should do. Like, okay, that's what y'all really should have been doing. So we see Rula, she's at her house, and she's, we find out more about her. She runs her own financial planning firm. She has 2 kids. She's been married for 9 years to a podiatrist. Right, a podiatrist, the foot doctors, that's who he is. So we see them talking about their marriage and the cheating scandal, and he's just like, I'm sorry, that'll never happen again. Where I am at all time. You're able to track me, so nothing's going on. Da 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 da. So the producers are asking her in her confessional, have you forgiven him? And she's just like, she's still working on it. So we see all the ladies, they meet up at Alicia's house. Everyone, uh they're meeting up at Alicia's house because they're gonna go do like a winery. Yeah, they're going on a wine tour, and they're gonna, get together and talk and all this other stuff. So we see Joellen, Rosie, Ashley, Kelsey, Liz, Joellen, Rosie, Ashley, Kelsey, Liz, and Alicia. Yeah, so we see them all. They're on the party bus to the winery. They're, laughing, drinking, having fun, doing what people do on the party bus. Well, not really everybody, but you know what I'm saying. So they do the tour. And they're all, they do the tour. They're talking about the wines and all this other stuff. They go to the where they the field where they have the grapes and all of that for the wine and everything. And so they're all looking at all of that. And so then they tell them, since the wine tour portion is over, now we're gonna go do our lunch. So they all go to sit down, and Kelsey pulls Joe Ellen to the side, and she tells her that Rula's coming. And not Chelsea, Joellen. She's pissed because she's just like, why didn't you tell me ahead of time that she was coming? She doesn't like me and I don't like her. And then we find out that that Rula and her husband were calling once they started calling Joe Ellen's job, trying to get her fired because of all of this. And it's just like, Rula, ma'am, girl, we don't do that. That was a true Karen moment, because why would you call her job to get her fired off of her spreading lies or rumors about you? Like, I understand you're pissed about it, but calling her job to get her fired for something she does on her off days? Eh. So Ashley wants to know what's going on because she don't know anything about what's going on with Rula or whatever. So they fill her in or whatever. Um Joellen is just like, fine, if she's gonna be here, it is what it is, blah 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 blah. So Joellen and Kelsey go sit down. Kelsey gets a phone call from Joellen, and she's just like, yeah, she's not gonna be able to make it. She was in urgent care the other day for 2 hours, and she's just not up for it. So Rosie was just like, once they got off the phone, Rosie was just like, yeah, she said she was in urgent care and she was in bed with a face full of glam. I was just like, okay, and she knew she was going to be on television, so she had to have a face full of glam. What's wrong with that? But Rulla, ma'am, girl, I'm gonna need you to. You can't like not show up for events. Like, girl, show up. We ain't even see you laugh the first episode. I need you. I need to see more of you. I need to see you and Joe Ellen get into it. Like, that's what I'm here for. I need to see the mess. Show up, girl. So they want to play the questions game. So they get a box, they write down questions that they have for each other, and they put it in a box, and then they answer the questions. So the first one, everyone gets their question. The first question was to Ashley. When did she lose her virginity? She said at 29. They want to know, Rosie got the question, did you sleep with the coach? She said, no, I didn't sleep with the coach. I don't even know the coach. I ain't never met the man. Let's see. They asked Joellen if she's a swinger. She says no. They asked Kelsey, are you dating? And she's just like, I'm not a polygamist. And then I'm not in a polygamous relationship. And she looks to Rosie, because Rosie was sitting next to her, and Rosie was just like, hey, I'm just asking a question. So she was just like, I am not now, and I have never been in a polygamous relationship. I want kids, and I want to get married. The man I've been with for 10 years won't give me that, so I'm dating. What? So in the confessional, Rosie was just like, so I used ChatGPT and I asked what a polygamous relationship was, and it's if you're married. So technically, she's not in a polygamous relationship because she's not married, but she's in a polyamorous relationship. And it was just like, so so Kelsey, you mean to tell me that you were upset about rumors about you dating other people, and you was pissed that Rosie was asking these questions, because what you said in your confessional in the first episode was Rosie isn't asking the questions like, oh, is this what it is? Is this how it's happening? The way she's asking him is, I know this is what it is, and I know this is how it's happening. Which you don't know if that's how she was asking the questions, but at the end of the day, she was completely right, because you are dating other people. So what are we talking about here? Because first you said, no, you weren't. Girl, you want to play to semantics with the words. And it's just like, ma'am, stop it. So it's just like, so you was upset about this girl asking if you had a boyfriend, and you did have a boyfriend? Girl. Oh, child. So Joellen says everyone always has questions, and Liz says, Liz says, well, you're the one who brought it up. And Joellen says, no, I didn't. And then they showed a flashback, and they tried to play in my face with this flashback, because the way they did it, it was just like, the way that they show the flashback wasn't the full context of the flashback. So it was just like, I'm not about to play with y'all, because legit, Rosie asked, what did y'all do the other day? And you said Kelsey came over, and then you proceeded to go on that. She said, and I don't know, and this and this and this and that. And then then Rosie asked, is it a personal decision? And that's where they picked it up on the flashback, trying to make it seem like Rosie's the one who brought it up. And it was just like, no, she just asked what they did. And Joellen decided to say, oh, I was with Kelsey and she's going through a hard time. That's how it happened. So y'all not about to play with me. I just watched that episode. So Rosie says, yes, you did. And Joellen, again, she's playing semantics. And then she apologizes. And then Ashley takes up for Joellen. And I was just like, girl, you're supposed to be Rosie's friend. But okay, whatever. So Kelsey is happy that Joellen apologized because that's all she needed. And from what I'm gathering, it looks like all the girls want to be friends with Joellen because even though she's not the nucleus of the group, she's like the mean girl, like she's the popular girl, or like you have to be her friend, like she's the Regina of the group. I didn't like Regina. So Joellen is happy that Kelsey's happy that Joellen apologized. That's all she wanted. Um Alicia then asked, like, the question for Liz is from Alicia, and she's asking if she had an affair, if she's having an affair, and Liz is just like no, and then she proceeds to tell us in the confessional she has a really good friend that she sees her and Gary have a really or Jerry child. Not only do they look alike, their husbands having similar names is going to be so confusing. But Liz and her husband, they have this really, really close friend that she sees as a brother. Their friendship is unconventional. Was it right? No. Was it a torrid affair? No. And now she's pissed at Alicia for bringing it up because she should know better, because once you put something out there, it's out there. And her and Alicia have go way back. So she should know better than to do that to her. So yeah, that was the episode. Again, these ladies are coming out swinging. And I love it. I really do like this show. But yeah, this was a good episode. Again, only time will tell. We'll have to see how they go down the line. I don't even know how many episodes this season is going to have. Most first season episodes, they don't give them that many, but because it's so good, they may give them that many as Atlanta, but I'm not sure, but we shall see. But yeah, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and turning on your post notifications so you'll know whenever I post. Get down in the comments, tell me what you guys thought of this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one.